Alafia, welcome once again to the online IFA classroom. My name is David Graham, or Awo IFA Foray at the IFA Foundation International. And before we dig in, just a reminder again about our Global IFA Unification Seminar happening April 24th through 26th at the Gardens in Central Florida. And that is an event for any and all who practice IFA. It is going to be directed towards IFA and Orisha initiates, but that does not preclude anyone from showing up. To join hands as one IFA community and pray for a better world for our children. That's it. It's really that simple. No agenda. We are going to have a guest speaker, Baba Falo Kunfantumbi, author of several IFA books, to discuss several subjects, but the meat of the event is the idea of everyone joining hands to pray, regardless of Santeria, Lukumi, Ifa, African, Latino, Anglo, gay, straight, doesn't matter. Come together, join hands, put aside our differences, celebrate our similarities, and pray for and construct a better world for those that come after us. The point of today's video is IFA and the coronavirus. I've received several calls, emails, text messages in the last 2 to 3 weeks asking me my opinion about the subject. And I approached it just like I approach everything else, and that is through the eyes of an IFA priest and also through IFA scriptures and what IFA teaches. First thing I will say about the coronavirus is that we need to look at the facts, and the facts are the mortality rate, or the amount of people that are subject to death as a result of the coronavirus. Some say a little bit less than, some say equal to, some say slightly more than the everyday flu, the influenza. So that's the first thing, is that the coronavirus is right on par with the flu as of now with the mortality rate. Now, granted, it is a highly contagious bug. It is going to impact our society. But I think my second point is that the news media should be ashamed at the way that they've handled this, at the panic that they have caused with the population, the sheer bombardment of 24/7, 365 fear about this virus, which prompted me to make this video to talk to those who practice IFA about what would IFA say about the coronavirus. And I'm not going to jump too far down the rabbit hole, but let's remember first tenet of IFA, or rule number 1, and this is pretty consistent with anyone who teaches IFA philosophy, that this is a good place, this is a benevolent universe where everything works the way that it's supposed to. That includes, by the way, the spirit of infectious disease. IFA does recognize and have a spirit or an Orisha energy that represents infectious disease. That entity goes by many names, but for simplicity's sake, we will use Omolu or Babalu Aye as it appears in the diaspora. And here's the truth. Let me back up. My heart goes out to anyone and everyone who is negatively impacted by this virus. My heart goes out to anyone who loses loved ones as a result of this virus. It, by the way, will most likely not be coronavirus that kills someone. It will be that they had underlying symptoms. What science is proving is that it is the very old, or the immunocompromised, or those with underlying medical conditions that are at most risk for this virus. And typically it'll be pneumonia brought on by coronavirus that ultimately kills someone. But, and here's the capital T truth, we are meant to go home. IFA teaches that the earth, this experience, is the marketplace, Aye, and that home, or heaven, Orun, is where we originated from and where we will return. Something is going to take us home, whether it is cancer, whether it is an automobile accident, whether it is the coronavirus, whether it is a heart attack. Pick your poison. Everyone has to go through that journey eventually. And IFA honors and acknowledges that the spirit of infectious disease is one of the Orisha that is responsible for taking people home, or bringing on the cause of taking people home. All that being said, Baba David, that's great. What do I need to do? Well, the first thing you need to do, and having performed divination on this, for those that are not initiated Ifa priests, those that do not have Babaluaye, and that do not understand the intricacies of this energy, my number one recommendation would be make an offering to Orisha Obatala. Obatala is the Orisha of calm, of clarity, of intellectual thought and understanding, of peace and of patience. Side note, in the diaspora, often Obatala is given with Babaluaye. And I think that the reason for that is that exactly what we're witnessing now is the spirit of infectious disease can be daunting, can be terrifying if you don't understand it. Um, and we give Obatala to add clarity, to add patience, to add peace of mind, to add intellectual thought. With the coronavirus, it's almost like someone yelled fire in a crowded movie theater instead of coming in calmly and saying, we have a small problem. If you go towards both of the exits in an orderly way, everything would be fine. It's often the panic caused by the event that does more damage than the event itself. So for those of you that don't have Babaluaye or don't understand that energy, that's fine. You don't need to. Make a bow to Obatala, ask for clarity, ask for peace, ask for protection, ask for patience. And as far as what offering can be given, anything that's cooling and calming. Glass of cool water, glass of milk, shea butter, anything along those lines. Now, I will tell you that on the other side, the working Ifa side, the Ifa priests that I know, if they have received Babaluaye, we are making bows to the spirit of infectious disease to mitigate the work that it needs to do and the impact that it has on our society. It's interesting to me that this coronavirus has caused a rapid decline of the stock market, the closing of schools, surely a huge economic hit to the airline industry, the cruise industry, the tourism industry. Many people's jobs and livelihoods will be affected. But the flu comes every year and kills tens of thousands of people. We don't lock ourselves in our homes. We don't quarantine ourselves. I dare say we don't wash our hands as much as we are now. It's very indicative about Western thinking and the Western worldview. This immediate shock and awe, panic, do something and do it right now, and it has to be extreme, and it has to either be black or white, and instant gratification. And the truth is that infectious disease has been around since the dawn of mankind. Something has to do the job of regulating the population of the planet and seeing that those who have fulfilled their destiny and lived their time here go home. And as I said, whether it's the flu, a heart attack, stroke, automobile accident, something serves that purpose. Ifa says that there are 2 days that are predestined, and that is the day that you're born and the day that you are supposed to die. Every other event can be forecast and can be changed when necessary through Ifa's guidance. That's the great news, guys and girls. This is a benevolent universe. This bug that has come upon us is part of the universe's benevolent creation to do its job. The other capital T truth is if you are not a senior citizen, if you are in good health, if you take good care of yourself, if you use common sense, there's a really, really, really good chance that you're going to be just fine. Even if you catch the dreaded coronavirus, there's a really good chance that you're going to be just fine. I was watching a doctor on the news today who was rattling off the stats of the number of cases that we know of, and he said the interesting thing that no one is reporting on is there are probably thousands and thousands of cases that we don't know about, that have not been tested, that have not been picked up, because there are people going about their daily business thinking they just have a cold and they have the coronavirus. But they're younger, they're healthy, they don't have underlying medical conditions. They know that when they get sick, lay down, hydrate, feed yourself, take medication, and their body will develop the antibodies and they will be fine. The other blessing is this disease is not impacting young people. Typically, it's children and the elderly who are affected, and they're showing that in this case, unlike the flu, children are not coming down with the coronavirus. So, once again, this is just the universe's way of doing its job. And just like SARS, and just like the bird flu, and just like the swine flu, there will be more of these. It's how we handle it that is important. It is our worldview that separates us. You know, I was working with a student today and I was trying to explain the importance of when we say this is a benevolent universe, it doesn't mean that everything's always going to work the way you want it to work. Life will be full of adversity. There will be trials and tribulations. There'll be good times. There'll be bad times. But it's our worldview, how we conduct ourselves, our character, that determines ultimately the outcome and the impact of our life. We can run for the exits over some perceived monster, or we can stop for a minute, look at the actual information that we have, filter it with the teachings of Ifa, and go about our lives in a positive, productive, uplifting manner. You know, I hate to say it, but even when it is your time to go, if it's your destiny to go, then it's time to accept your destiny and join your ancestors back home. And the way that you experience that process will very much color the entire experience for you and everyone who is associated with you at that time. So I think ultimately what I'm saying is Ifa would tell you not to worry, not to be afraid. You need have no fear. There are solutions to every problem. I assure you that the medical community will get their arms around the coronavirus in as much as they have their arms around the common flu. They may or may not come up with a vaccine. They will come up with a treatment regimen. Most people who catch the coronavirus will ultimately be just fine. And those that are not were destined to go home. And it was most likely their time. And this is just another way that the universe does the work that it needs to do to keep the planet in balance and to keep everything moving. Ifa says there is no going without returning. If I visit you, you have to visit me. The implication being that we all have to go home. Man, animal, fish, birds, everyone has a time. And this is simply one of those events. So stay calm. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of your family. Work with Orisha Obatala to keep a calm, cool head. Ask for clarity in the situation. Don't panic. Don't make it worse than it needs to be. Certainly don't start a brawl over toilet paper, as I just saw on TV in Australia. And if you're an initiated Ifa priest, depending on the level of experience that you have, depending on the tools that you have, you can make a bow to Babalu, Aye, or to Omolu, and ask that this energy does its work in the fashion that it needs to, but that it minimizes and mitigates the chaos as a result. You can make a bow to Orisha Osain or Osanyan, asking for a speedy antivirus or a speedy treatment regimen, which that Orisha would certainly be a part of. And use all your other tools and pray for certainly the population of the United States, if not mankind as a whole, to handle this with grace, with dignity, with intellect, with good character, with taking care of one another, with using common sense, and understanding that everything's going to be okay. This is not the end of days, I assure you. And it would be no surprise at all to me that if in 6 months we're not talking about this at all, and everyone's on to the next calamity, the next catastrophe, the next short-term fire that needs to be mitigated in order for life to go on as normal and us to have all the abundance that the universe provides. And I can assure you that's not the way that it's supposed to be. You're supposed to wake up every day knowing you were born Omo Re Re, means a good and blessed person, that the universe will provide, will take care of you, that life is designed to work, that you can, should, and will have a long, healthy life with abundance, with prosperity, with children, with family, with joy, with all the good things in this world. If you would just embrace Ifa's worldview and follow the teachings of Ifa and look right outside your window at the way the universe works, accept it, be a part of it, and be joyful about the experience. Hope I didn't overkill that too much. I hope you got something from it. If you want to attend the event in April, reach out to me via YouTube or reach out to Iavasa at the IFA Foundation. And as usual, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, or critiques, you can reach out to me via the email address at the end of this video. Until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.